Hey guys, came for 15, joined by my Uncle Darrell, and we are back talking Chicago Bears football. Now, I have been doing small update videos in terms of what we've been getting so far. Now, with all the moves that have been happening as of late, funny enough, I did record like a few of them, but I'm like, you know what? There's so many news coming back to back to back days, and there's only so little time that I can get up, upload, and then freaking do all this stuff, and I got work and everything. So, hey, let's get this all hashed out and all this stuff in one said video. So, we're going to be talking about the changes that have been happening with the Bears, and then the apparent rumors, especially the rumors that came out today from Jeremy Fowler, that apparently the Bears will more than likely look to re-sign Kevin Byard, letting Jaquan Brisker walk, but also looks like the replacement potentially for Tremaine Edmunds could be Alex Anzalone. Anyways, let's start off with the first news, the first domino news to drop. Um, and I think this was one that shocked probably every Chicago Bears fan. I know when I saw it at work, it shocked the hell out of me, and that was Drew Dalman retiring.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you was about to say something else. But yeah, that kind of took me for a loop. Um, and unless you can tell me different, that we still don't really necessarily know the reasons behind his sudden retirement, whether it was physical, emotional, um, mentally. Just he just wasn't in the next season. I personally just do not know.
Yeah, unless he comes out, and whenever Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson talk to the media, I bet you the media, the Chicago media, knowing how toxic they can be, they're going to try to pry every single bit and piece to try to get the answer. But, knowing those two, they're going to be like, look, if Drew Dalman comes out and he reveals why he retired, he retired. The only, I only have a few speculations. One speculation, a bunch of reporters, I think Courtney Cronin, who's on the beat for Chicago Bears, she mentioned that Drew Dalman's father played in the NFL, played for the 49ers, and he had to actually end his career because of a neck injury, I believe. So maybe that's the fact that maybe, he plays the center position. Any offense line position is very physically demanding.
Correct.
And there is definitely risk because you're banging heads and you're all types
Correct.
of areas, right? So maybe, maybe he just looked at his father and said, you know what? I want to make sure I have, something to live for. I don't want to have a debilitating risk injury that maybe compromises the rest of my life. And then again,
Correct.
we know the CTE developments and everything with everything. So, that could have also played a role in that. Um, Another role, maybe, hey, maybe the man just lost the passion to play the game of football. That could be just straight up.
But
And
at the same time, though, all of that, the fear of injury, and we don't really necessarily know what kind of toll has taken over his body since he's been in the NFL. The first one that I can actually recall that I thought retired really early was a running back, Robert Smith. And he was a really good running back, I thought, and he were just retired out the blue. And he cited the fear of injury and the fact that football is a collision sport, and he wanted to look towards his long-term health. So he felt it was in his best interest to give it up. Who knows? Maybe that's what happened with Dalman. And as an offensive lineman, I mean, collisions pretty much happen every play with an offensive lineman. So we don't necessarily know what type of injuries he's been dealing with. We don't necessarily know what type of um, how he's been dealing with the toll that football has taken on his body. Only thing we can do as fans, man, is just wish him well and thank him for the year that he spent. I'm pretty sure he's made a decent amount of money to go ahead and live a long life. So, it happens. I mean, it really does, But speaking from a fan standpoint and salary cap standpoint, it was a needed move to get back under the cap.
yeah, so whatever Drew Dalman's going through, we wish him well. Hopefully,
Wish him well.
maybe he comes out at some point, explains why he did retire. Um,
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's up to it's on to him. He hasn't posted like his retirement post or anything. But that was definitely the shock. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I
yeah,
did not expect that.
yeah. That
Now,
was a shocker for me too. Um, so but and I will admit, I gotta admit, and this is gonna sound really cruel, but I was really excited to get the money off the cap and not necessarily thinking about Dalman personally. So um, I do, just that was my first thought. Now, whether it's people take offense to that thought or not, hey, it is what it is. But that was my first thought. Ooh, what does he make, and how does that help the cap? You know,
yeah.
so but
So we'll
it
see.
did
We'll
shock
see
me.
what
But
yeah,
it did shock.
we'll see where it goes. It just sucks that, he retired now after coming off the year he had and everything, but hey, then I looked at where he went to school and he went to Stanford, and Stanford dudes do like to retire early for whatever reason. But, maybe that might be something for future teams to avoid on. But then again, what do I know? Ryan Kelly for the
Yeah,
Vikings just retired too, and I think he's fairly
really,
young too. Yeah,
really.
yeah,
Well, he wasn't Stanford, that's for sure. But Alabama dudes normally hang in there for a while.
yeah. He retired too. So
Mm, okay, but again, just like we said before, football is a collision sport, and collisions happen more frequently on the line than any other play, whether it be defense to offensive line or defense to a running back. You know, they happen every play. And yes, we as people on the outside looking in, we got to understand that these collisions do take an effect on a person's health. And Ryan Kelly, he has been hurt the last couple of years too with a lot of nagging injuries. So, you know, this retirement doesn't shock me either.
So then, I think a few days later, we finally make a way to address the move, I guess. And the Bears traded a fifth round pick to go get Garrett Bradbury, who is the former New England Patriots center, who started all 17 games and started in the Super Bowl and everything. Um, when I saw this move, I was like, okay, what? Because look, no offense to Garrett Bradbury, but I seriously think this was a downgrade. And for me, I don't like this. We talked about the Bears doing this stupid stopgap shit every freaking year before we got
Yeah,
Drew Dalman. And for me, it's blatantly clear this is a stopgap move because either what I guess whatever Tyler Linderbaum is going to get in free agency, that we'll see if he goes back to the Ravens. Um, Otherwise, my best case is they draft a center in the draft and they just develop him to be the long-term thing. But, look, to Bradbury's defense, he didn't allow any sacks last year for Drake May. He did play all games, so he relatively was healthy, and he played in the Super Bowl. But outside of that, oh, and then he's cheap. But outside of that, I can't you can't convince me because I've seen this team be mumbling around with terrible centers like Sam Mustipher, Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick. Who was the last guy we had? Trying to think. I'm trying to think. I can't think of. There was one guy in there. Oh, Coleman
yeah,
Shelton. Coleman
yeah,
Shelton.
Shelton. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And to Bradbury's defense, he is better than those guys. But still, and the thing is, from what we hear, he's a better pass protector than run blocker. Now maybe that has something to do with Josh McDaniels' running scheme. I don't know. Maybe he can come over here to Ben Johnson and he'll be fine. But to me, until I see it, believe it, and until I see this guy go out there week to week, showing why the Bears traded for him, I can't be convinced that this is a good move for me. I just don't
Okay.
like these average centers when it's proven. The one time we got Drew Dalman, he ended up becoming a Pro Bowler, an All Pro, and we had a successful season. We haven't had that since Olin Kreutz. And even then, I think Whitehair in 2018, he was actually pretty good in that 2018 season. Then for whatever reason, he just fell off a cliff.
Well, what I was going to say when you started mentioning the centers, I think Whitehair fell off when they moved him from center to guard.
Yeah.
I think that's where his decline came. As a center, I thought he was actually decently good, good enough to the point whereas he was actually given a Pro Bowl slot. But the inept management and coaching staff of the Bears, I guess they felt that he could be more of a better player if they moved him from center to guard, which turned out to be a disaster for him.
Yeah.
And I think that when they moved him to guard, isn't that when they moved Mustafa to center?
I think so.
I think so too. So, I mean, it was just a bad move all around. But I will say this yes, Poles has been known that when he makes a trade for someone, it's usually um, a stopgap kind of person. Um, he has made free agent moves, but they're on the low end of a spectrum. We're talking about a salary. Dalman was probably one of the only ones that, as far as the offensive line is concerned, was shocking because this dude is pretty good, and Poles is going to bring him in. Okay, this is what he's making. Oh, all right. All right. Let's see what he got. But in Brad Bear's defense, just like he said, he played all 17 games, including the Super Bowl. Um, he 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 didn't give up a sack. Now, granted, yeah, there's some questions about whether he can handle a pass rush. Run block, I would say. Passing doesn't seem to be, a problem for him. But when you do have an elite quarterback like we have in Caleb Williams, yes, you need to be able to have a competent center in front of him that can call out protections and be able to block instead. So, I mean, I say let's give the guy a shot. I still think they're going to wind up drafting a center, whether it be with the
They
first
got
or the
to.
second. Whether it be with the first or the second pick, I have no idea. But I would not be shocked if Poles decided to, let's just say, use one of them seventh round picks on a center. It wouldn't shock me not what he did.
I hope if you do a center, you use it in one of the second round picks you got. But another
I would
day.
hope I would not be mad. Although I will say with that 25th pick overall, I'm hoping he goes edge or defensive tackle.
Yeah.
That's my personal preference.
Yeah.
And then maybe with the second, he can address the offensive line, and maybe linebacker or another wide receiver.
Yeah.
But you know, we will see. I mean, I honestly thought, that given the situation with Dalman, that taking that the fifth round pick, and getting a guy like Bradbury, for me, the price wasn't that steep.
Look, and then so far you're seeing some centers go at the market. McGovern, who was, who used to be the Bills, and is now going back to the Bills. He was on the
Yeah.
market. We'll have to wait to see what Linderbaum is gonna get.
I was going to say Linderbaum. I just never thought the Bears was going to get him because I think the price tag would have been a little bit too high. And considering now that the Ravens traded Max Crosby for 2 firsts, tells me that I think Linderbaum is probably going to be gone, and they're probably going to wind up using their draft capital and replacing him. But I just never thought Linderbaum was in the plans for the Bears because, again, the price tag was just too high.
Yeah. And then apparently even after Dalman retired, they said the Bears were gonna bring in Tyler Badaze, but apparently then reports of like a day later said, oh, the Bears never brought him in because he ended up signing with the Chargers a few days later. So don't know where that reporting was. Um, and then you look at the center market. I think the Packers played that John Runyon dude. I think he was the guy
Yeah,
that at the end of the playoff game he fumbled the snap or whatever to Malik Willis. They paid him crazy amount of money, and apparently Packer, from what I've seen, Packer fans are not happy about that.
yeah. I mean, that's for the most part. I mean, we've been watching a lot of football long enough to know that you know offensive linemen sometimes are not interchangeable. I mean, it's really difficult to take a right guard and put him in left left tackle, or put in a center like they did Whitehair and put him at right guard, and then throw in just a Rudy Poop for center. I mean, for me on the offensive line, center is the most important position because this guy has got to be on the offensive line. He's got to make sure that he calls protection. So you got to get that part right. Bears got it right last year when they brought Dalman on board. They seem to have the other parts really good. Um, Left tackle with Trapillo. I mean, I think that's his gig to lose. You know, um, and the other pieces on the offensive line are solid. We just need to find the right person at center to be able to make sure that he gels well with the rest of the offensive line and Caleb Williams, because chemistry is a big deal
Yep.
on the offensive line. If you don't have it, then man, you get the Bears of 3 years ago.
Yeah. Another move that made, again, another move that wasn't shocking. We saw this coming. I already made a video about it, just about the reports and the rumors. And the Bears essentially a few days ago confirmed it. They are going to be cutting Tremaine Edmunds, which is going to save them around 15 million in cap space.
Yep.
Again, like I said in that Tremaine Edmunds video, it made sense, to start the season off. He played at a Pro Bowl level, and you're like, oh man, he under Dennis Allen's scheme, he's reviving, what we have in what we're paying him. And it's like you're looking at Eberflus, you're like, what the hell did you do with this guy? But at the same time, Dennis Allen moved this guy to outside linebacker, and then he got that groin injury. He came back, and then his play just dropped off, and he
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
the
a
same
different
play.
cat altogether. Yeah, he was a different cat altogether. I think before he went on the IR, he had what, 5 interceptions?
Hmm.
I mean, he was all over the place. And granted, they had what, lost a couple games before he went on, but I mean,
No, they
he
won.
wasn't really
I think they won. I think the game after Cincinnati, that's when he got hurt.
right, right. But my point is, they had a couple of losses already under their belt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, those losses were not due to anything that he had done or not done. That's my point. It's just that after that growing injury at his position, yeah, things were a little bit different with how he was, let's just say, reacting to the football. He just seemed a step slower.
Hmm.
I don't know if he just wasn't completely healthy, or again, it might be one of those situations whereas he didn't want to get hurt, so he just didn't try as hard. I don't know, but you can definitely clearly tell that he was a different cat. And at the money he was making, I got to admit, we were not expecting
No,
this type of a player, not from him.
no. And look, Tremaine Edmunds, we thought when we signed him, we made the video. We thought he was gonna be like the next great Chicago Bears linebacker. He was
I
good.
thought so. I thought
He was
so.
good, but he
I
wasn't
thought so.
great.
I would
Um,
have liked to have Dennis Allen, Tremaine Edmondson's first year.
yeah,
I'll say that. And we could have put a lot of this fault upon, his coaching staff that he came on board with. You could have put a lot of that stuff on them. Because I mean, when he came over, and it was Buffalo, he came from Buffalo,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
When he came from Buffalo, I mean, he was highly stout as a linebacker. Pro Bowl caliber, young, fast, strong, can do everything especially at the second level. But for whatever reason, this coaching staff could not bring the best out of him. Dennis Allen got what, 5 games, 5 good games out of him,
yeah,
and then he hit the IR.
yeah. And then we saw the impact that Marco Jackson made. And then once Tremaine Edmonds got back in there, we're like, bro,
Yep,
why? Like, I remember one of the reporters even asking Dennis Allen, like, hey, DeMarco Jackson was like player of the week. Why are you not giving him any reps? And it
yeah.
was starting to be like, okay, are you just giving politics to Tremaine Edmonds? Because,
Or even, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Now I know a lot of folks say you shouldn't lose your job due to injury, but I mean, when you got a guy rolling like that in
yeah,
Jackson,
yeah,
I'd be like, dude, man, take an extra week.
yeah,
To Tremaine Edmonds, do me a favor, man. Just take an extra week, and you know, let's just see what this Jackson cat can give us.
yeah. And look, he's gonna be missed. He's gonna be missed for, it's Chicago, yeah, videos and things like that.
No, he didn't have that much of an impact to say, yeah, we gonna
I
miss
know,
him.
but
I
still,
mean,
culture
he ain't
wise,
Singletary. He wasn't Earl Lacker. I mean, he wasn't Otis Wilson. He wasn't Wilbur Marshall. He didn't have that kind of impact on the city of Chicago to say we gonna miss him. I mean,
I understand, but still, culture
especially if
wise for the play, for
Jackson and Noah Sewell plays like the way they did when he was gone, I ain't gonna miss him.
well, culture wise for the team, he seemed like a fun guy to be around. It
Well,
sucks, but
we still got TJ who can actually,
well,
still.
coming off an ankle injury though,
Well, that's true too. That's true too. So he may be the next one as well
I think that's going to be
because
after this
he
upcoming
was
season.
off and on, off and on, off and on last year too. Now, granted, it was injuries, but off and on, off and on. Now, how this ankle injury affects his return,
Yeah, that's the question.
that's a question too, because we saw how a growing injury affected Edmunds. Let's see how this ankle injury affects Edwards.
Yeah. So, look, Tremaine Edmunds, for everything, it was a solid piece at the time. Sucks that it just didn't work out long term, but look, the Bears tried to find a way to trade him, but I don't think no team was willing to trade compensation, um, and pick up his $15 million deal. They
Correct.
probably want to pay him at their set price. And this was
Correct.
after the DJ Moore trade, so I think teams like, okay, we know what you're doing. You're trying to trade these guys, get compensation, to set your guys self up. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not helping you guys.
Well, I think if he would have found the right team, I
Yeah.
think the right team probably might have, you know,
The rumors was he could have been traded
given
to the
I think
Giants.
the right team might have given up a fifth round pick and took on the $15 million salary. Um, the right team, in this particular case. I think now you just mentioned DJ Moore. We expected that to happen as well too. We all talked about his $28 million cap hit. We all talked about how he sometimes played like you couldn't really tell if he was all in or all out. You know, he didn't seem to care so much about being second fiddle to Roma Dunze, which is what it seemed to me. You may have a different opinion on that, but that $28 million needed to come off the cap. Now, that said, do I honestly think they could have got a first for DJ? Yes. I
That was
honestly
you.
think that
The fact. Well, I don't know if you're getting first for DJ.
me personally, if you're gonna give up two first for Max Crosby, which I thought was, that was a good trade for the Ravens. It didn't address their wide receiver woes. I mean, if you're gonna give up two firsts, I mean, I think you would have been glad to give up one first for DJ Moore. And you
I,
need a wide receiver over in Baltimore. So sometimes I honestly think, you know, the what Poles is looking around for, maybe he just looked at the wrong team. I don't know.
I don't think any team's trading a first round pick for DJ Moore, who he had career lows last year. Nobody's doing that.
That's true. But at the same time, you can clearly see, especially at the end of the year, what type of player DJ Moore was. You can
DJ
also
Moore.
see what kind of player that Roma Dunze was. And the only thing, and now keep in mind, now this could be what you're talking about with the same thing with DJ Moore and Tremaine Edmunds.
Hmm.
Baltimore is willing to take on that 28, but you're going to take this second round pick. I'm not giving up a first and take on 28 million. No, we're not going to do that. So it could have very well been that.
I, what are you gonna do? So DJ Moore got traded to the Buffalo Bills. Now, at first, when it was
Bills.
reported, it looked like it was gonna be for a mid round pick. I'm like, you're only getting a mid round pick. All right, hopefully it's maybe a 3 or a 4 at least. And then probably about 30 minutes later, they're saying that the Bills traded a second round pick for DJ Moore. I'm like, oh, I will take a second round pick. And realistically, it's the second round, I think the 60th pick of the second round. So
So
and the
basically,
Bears
they have the 57th and the 60th pick in
60th.
the second round. So in a sense, they got two high threes.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's a second.
it's a second. It's
It's a
still second
it,
round picks to me are extended first round picks because they're still really good players that you can take.
well, that depends if they're high second round picks.
Well, yes.
Because this one is 57 and 60, and here it is, the 63rd pick is the first pick of the third round. So I mean, they're in a sense high threes, which it's not bad. It really isn't. We got 25, 57, 60. I don't believe we have a third.
Yeah, we're hoping that the NFL gives us the comp picks from Ian Cunningham, and the NFL is not doing that stupid rule that they're trying to not give us these third round comp picks.
Yeah. And I know we have what is it here? Let me look real quick. Okay, we have 25, 57, 60. We do have a third, 89, a fourth from the Rams, and then two sevens.
Okay. And we should be
So I
getting two more.
mean, we
Should
should.
be getting two more third
We
round
should.
picks for the Ian
We
Cunningham
should.
deal. Hopefully the
But
NFL fulfills that.
four picks in the first 89 is okay. It's okay. It's not really what the Raiders got. I mean, god damn, the Raiders got 8 of the first 35. I'm like, good Lord.
Well, I honestly think the freaking Ravens did that out of desperation. I would not, with all due respect, I know we wanted Max Crosby on the Bears, but thank
Yeah,
God the
yeah,
Bears
yeah.
did not trade no 2 first round picks for Max Crosby.
No,
That
no,
is
I agree
absolutely
there.
crazy.
I agree there. And plus his price tag is about 30 million. So even if we were talking about DJ Moore and Max Crosby straight up, I gotta admit,
I was
that still
hoping
doesn't help our cap.
I was hoping even if you did trade DJ Moore, I was saying maybe the Bears plan is okay, we'll give you this year's first and one of the second round picks that we have. Now there are rumors saying that the Bears were willing to give 2 first round picks, but the reason why the Raiders went with the Ravens offer is because they were clearly lower on the board than where the Bears were at.
Right, right.
So
The two picks that the Ravens were offering were better than the two picks that the
well, this year's
Bears were
first
offering.
is better than the Bears.
Right, right, right. So, I mean, I get all of that. My biggest thing was getting cap relief. Bringing Max Crosby does not give us cap relief.
It'll help the
Getting rid
defensive
of
line,
DJ
though.
Moore, cutting Tremaine Edmunds, maybe even later on cutting TJ Edwards if
They decide.
if that ankle injury is not if that ankle injury is worse than what we believe it is. That also gives cap relief as well. So Drew Dalman retirement, these type of things give you cap relief, which is the reason why I'm honestly I'm glad that we're trading for picks instead of bringing more salary on board. Linderbaum would not have brought us cap relief, not in the least. Even when we were at 44 million under the cap after Edmunds and Moore, it would not have brought us cap relief. So get the picks, draft some guys. Yes, bring in a veteran like Bradbury, draft a center, and let's see how the draft with these veterans help out. Now, I would probably, again, my hope is at that 25th pick, you go edge or DT.
It has to be
Because,
defensive line the first pick. If they don't,
well, I mean, it's got to be defensive line. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got to be. Don't let Bradbury's signing, think that, hey, man, let me rephrase. Don't think that Dalman's retirement think that, hey, man, they got to go get a center. I don't subscribe to that. I honestly think your greatest need is an edge rusher. Because Odangbo just wasn't it. And honestly, I can't. I would understand if they cut him too.
Well, they can't. They can't do it till after next year.
Oh,
Otherwise, they
okay.
get a
Well, then
cap. It's a massive cap hit. They can't.
well, we
So
stuck,
right now, the two worst contracts on the board for the Bears are that damn Grady Jarrett's contract and freaking Dio's contract. They can't get
and
out of
that's
those contracts till after the 22 after this upcoming season. So after this
and
upcoming
that's the
season,
reason
they
why
can
we
cut
need to
them.
go either edge or DT in this first round. You got to. I mean,
Yeah.
Grady. Now let's give Grady some carrot and some credit. Early in the season, yes, between injury, injury and just poor play. He did finish the season decently good. I'm not going to sit up and say he was overall a bad play, but Grady got his chops getting to the quarterback, not necessarily stopping the run. So my thing is if you are going to get a DT that's going to be huge, big, that can clog that middle up so we can stop the run. With Grady up in there, they ran right at him.
And see, the problem
So
is, and I've heard this from other Bears podcasters, they overpaid for Grady Jarrett because they needed freaking leadership because the locker room was so bad after freaking Matt Eberflus's tenure. They needed a guy in the building that just is just a straight up leader.
yeah, I don't subscribe to that. I don't. I don't subscribe to that. Because they had guys back there that can actually lead. I mean, for once, you got TJ Edwards, led the league in tackles, from what
That's
I
true.
understand.
But
I
I guess for
mean,
the Bear, I guess from Ryan Poles' opinion, he felt like they needed to get some just a man of character in the building. Not saying that TJ Edwards or Kevin Byard aren't that, but maybe he just felt like no, we need somebody who people will go to vouch for.
maybe so. Maybe so. And it
Now I
makes
don't know why
sense
Ryan
with
Poles isn't restructured his or Dio's contract. No idea. But I
I
guess
don't
he
know.
wants them to be paid in full objectively, so then you can cut them next year and say
Well, I
thank you
gotta
for your
admit, I
service.
would definitely restructure Odangbo's contract.
Maybe they don't want to do
And
that because he's
yes,
coming off injury. And Ryan Poles is a nice guy. I don't know why. He came from Kansas City, and I'm seeing Kansas City restructure Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes contracts almost every year. Why can't we do it
I
for our
thought
players?
Odangbo came from the Colts.
No, I'm saying no. Ryan Poles came from the 40
Oh,
from
Ryan
the
Poles came from the
Chiefs,
Chiefs.
and I'm
Okay, all right,
seeing
got you.
Veach. He's restructuring Mahomes contract, Chris Jones contracts. But I'm like, Ryan Poles, why don't you want to restructure our dudes' contracts right now? See, my problem with Ryan Poles is he's too much of a nice guy. He wants to get these
Yeah,
guys the bag. I respect that. But if you need your cap to be flexible, restructure their contracts. Bring them into the office and tell them, hey, man, we got to make some moves. We got to restructure some cap. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to restructure your contract. You're going to get some paid money now as opposed to later on.
yeah,
But maybe he's like, no, we're not going to do it because we're just going to cut these guys straight up after more than
yeah,
likely next year, and we get their
yeah,
full salary off the books.
yeah. Well, if there is a contract, in my opinion, to be restructured, it's got to be
It's got to be
Odangbo.
Dio for the production he gave you when he's coming
It's
off
got to be.
injury.
What is he coming in at? 18 million?
Something like that.
Yeah,
What's it do? Him and Grady Jarrett are
18
probably the.
million. 18 million for what? 3 sacks?
I don't even think he got one. He probably did get
Well,
one, but
I, I want to say he got three. And for me, no, dog.
and then two, they found
No.
out mid-season they found out he was a better defensive tackle than Edge.
Yeah.
So you're paying a bunch of
But
money
at the
for a
same
defensive
time, though,
tackle.
it's still a defensive tackle in passing situations. We need defensive tackles that can stop the run. Somebody that we can put on first and second down
Well, I think we need. I think we need both.
third
I,
and long.
I think we need both. One that can stop the run, and then one in a passing third down situation just blows up the interior offensive line
Which
and collapses the quarterback.
again, I mean, I guess we're saying the same thing,
Yeah,
but we're talking about, maybe we're not talking about that in one player. I'm talking about have, two separate guys on first and second down that can stop the run. And then on third down, yeah, man, you first those third and longs, you get everybody up in there that can get to the damn quarterback.
now the report. Now there are rumors, and it's funny. It's coming out now. Rumors that apparently a few teams have called in on Jalen Carter, and one of those teams is the Bears. Now, I don't know if the Bears will trade for Jalen Carter. I
Mm-mm,
highly doubt that they would because they didn't draft
mm-mm,
him at 9. They traded back because they had character issues with this guy.
mm-mm.
And from what we've
And he
seen, he's
showed
had the
and he
character
showed he
issues.
had problems in Philadelphia. So
Yeah,
again, the reason, in my opinion, the reason why you probably hearing that report is probably because Philadelphia's done with him. And there's
yeah,
a reason behind that.
yeah. I
He
still
had
remember
a
him
couple of
spitting on Prescott
issues
in week
last
1.
season.
He's
Yeah,
been a
he had a
bust.
couple of issues last season that I got to admit, I'm saying to myself, well, I'm glad we didn't draft this dude.
Now, listen, before we have to make another Zoom room, if the Bears were to trade for Jalen Carter, would I necessarily be mad? No, because he's an upgrade over all the defensive tackles you got in the room right now. The only issue you got to address is this freaking character issue. And that's the problem. But knowing Poles, he wants men of high character in the building. Especially with Ben Johnson, he wants men of high character in the building. You're doing the most respectful thing, you're doing the right thing, and you're not becoming a detriment to the team. I don't think the trade happens, but if I were to wake up tomorrow morning and see Bears trade for Jalen Carter based on whatever they decide to give, hopefully it's not much, because you don't want to do deals with Howie Roseman because he will fleece you. Um, I wouldn't be mad because it's like, okay, well, it's an upgrade over Grady, it's an upgrade over freaking Jervon Dexter, it's an upgrade over Dio. He'd probably be the best defensive line you got on the roster right now, outside of Sweat.
Well, and then on top of that, let's also take our coaching staff in account as well too. We haven't really had, other than let's just say maybe Tyreek Stevenson, a player on that side of the ball to just flat out be a malcontent. You know, we've had players that, they'll get hurt and don't want to finish out the season like Jaquan Brisker did a couple of years ago. So I think last year, because of the way we play football and the success that we have, we're going to have players that's going to want to come our way.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that when they come our way, Poles and Johnson will tell them, hey, dude, this is the kind of player we need you to be. Now, granted, yeah, you said that Poles is a.
Uh-oh, cut off. It cut off. It cut off. It cut off. He ran out of time. All right, continue your point before we were cut off.
Well, basically what I was saying was we have a different coaching staff than what's in Philadelphia.
That's true. That's true.
And I honestly think that this coaching staff can handle Jalen Carter.
That's true. That's a good point.
This coaching staff was able to keep Tyreek Stevenson from being Tyreek Stevenson. This coaching staff kept Jaquan Brisker away from Twitter.
Oh, he still was on Twitter all the time.
Well, I mean, not to the point where he blasting everybody on the team, the city, and yeah. So to the point where, you know what, I got to get out of here now. Okay, don't worry about it. We're going to let you out. So I honestly think this coaching staff is much different than what we have in Philadelphia. Whereas I shouldn't say whereas they can control Jalen Carter. That was basically the point.
Yeah. But to go back to the DJ Moore, because we kind of tailed off with that. Look, DJ Moore, when we first got him, it was one of those moves at the time we needed to make. And he was probably one of the best receivers we had at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
We acquired him.
Mm-hmm.
And very
low. He was the best receiver we had.
That first year,
honestly, this team, DJ Moore was the best wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
They didn't treat him like, wide receiver one. And I think that's the reason why he became a little disenfranchised. Ben Johnson didn't come up here treating him like he was Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is what I thought he was going to do, but they leaned more towards Rome Odunze.
Yeah, because he plays more in the slot. You can play Rome Odunze in the slot. You can play him on the
Well,
outside.
you can play DJ Moore everywhere.
That's true, but look, DJ Moore
You
that
know,
first season was great. He was fantastic. And
yeah,
then you gave him the extension, and then his play started to drop off in terms of what he was getting. And then, like we said earlier, this past season was probably the worst statistic-wise, the lowest amount of targets he's received. His
yeah,
production just kept dropping. And for whatever reason, it kept dropping. Could that be because of the whole switch at quarterback? We knew Justin that first year, if there was nobody else open, who was he throwing to? DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Caleb Williams is the type of quarterback that he throws it all over the place. He'll give it to you. He'll give it to you. He'll give it to you. He'll just throw it to the most open guy, and he'll give him a chance. And if he has to go take the Superman throw, he'll do the Superman throw.
Yeah.
And, obviously, look, maybe it was a scheme issue last season. Maybe the Bears just felt like, DJ Moore and Ben Johnson, the Bears felt like, oh, DJ Moore's a great player to have, but he's not a guy that fits what we want to run. And again, like I made a mention, Ben Johnson's come out and said, no, I'm not the type of guy that likes to throw 50-50 balls. It's whoever I scheme open, I expect him to be open, and I expect the ball to be thrown their way. And let's just be honest. The Bears, when you have Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, you can see the direction, and why they took those three fairly high. You can tell what is more than likely the future for your pass catchers. It's Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland. Those are your trio.
I'll say this. I think Rome needs to get
he needs this trade. This trade also tells me this too. Rome Odunze better step up in year 3. Because if you don't step up in year 3, he's gonna be gone.
Because you've already seen just snippets of what Colston Loveland and Luther Burden can be on this football team.
And there's some Bear fans that say Luther Burden's going to be a better receiver than Rome Odunze.
I agree, but there's also reports that say Luther Burden had issues getting into the playbook. Now, whether that's going to be an issue this year,
we'll see.
I say we'll see, especially after they already, got rid of DJ Moore.
I think the thing is for Luther, he's going to this offseason healthy. So
yeah,
they'll have him studying up on the playbook.
Yeah, I don't think the playbook is that big of a deal. So because you can honestly see that if this whole playbook thing was indeed true, I'm like, damn, if this is what we gonna get when he ain't in the playbook, what do you think we gonna get when he in it? Oh my God. Yeah. That dude got crazy skills. And Colston Loveland?
He's already
man. Man.
Yeah, Rome Odunze's got to be the
I was going to say a quarterback's best friend is a tight end.
Yep.
And I mean, you saw the effect of how Travis Kelce, Gronkowski, how these type tight ends have the effect on a quarterback. And we got Colston Loveland and Komet.
Yeah.
Man, DJ Moore, deuces.
Yeah, and again, they're putting a lot on Rome Odunze. And to Rome Odunze's credit, at the end of the year, he did say, and he was pretty emotional, that he felt like he let the team down with his play. He did say, like, he needs to be better. So hopefully, and I mean hopefully, he comes in with that rejuvenation. Because honestly, Rome Odunze started the year off great. He started the year off great. And then for whatever reason...
Well, he got hurt too.
He got hurt. And then I think he was also trying to play through that injury, and that... You know, but that still doesn't excuse the countless drops he's had. And
I agree. My thing is, if you're hurt, and you're going to try and play hurt, the least you can do is catch the football.
Yeah, look at the playoff game. He catches that touchdown against the Rams on that opening drive. The game.
I mean, was his hand broke? I get it. You want to play so that you don't lose your spot because you know how things go in the NFL that a guy can take your spot while you're gone. So you're going to come back, maybe not 100%. But my thing is, if you're going to come back, even not 100%, the least you can do, the very least you can do as a wide receiver is when that ball is in the air, you have one responsibility and one responsibility only. And I even tell my basketball team this. When that ball is in the air, what is your responsibility to that basketball? And they'll say, catch it. Okay, catch it. Don't drop it again.
And
Same thing in football. If that football is on the way to you, and it's clear it's on the way to you, it's not overthrown, it's not underthrown, it's not thrown far left, it's not thrown far right. It's clear that it's being thrown to you. The very least you can do is respect that football and catch it. Odunze did not do that.
and to be honest, we haven't seen Washington run Dunze, not even in his first year. We only saw flashes.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we'll see where that goes. Hopefully this is the JSN type of thing because, Seattle, they let go. They traded DK Metcalf to the Steelers.
Yep.
So they could let
Yep.
JSN go off. And what did
That's
JSN
correct.
do?
And maybe it's one of them things where they had to get DJ Moore out of that locker room.
And again, look, DJ Moore, for whatever reason, the production issues were there. We could also make the mention the attitude issue we saw last year. One of the most infamous things DJ Moore did last year was when Caleb Williams was rolling out to his left against the Cardinals. DJ Moore was doing scramble drill, but then he just walks off the freaking field.
Yeah.
And sits on the bench. And I'm like,
well, even in the playoff game, I mean, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
You have your opinion, I have mine.
Yeah.
My opinion is he did not run that route all the way through because he did not think he was going to get the football.
Oh, I said that too. I don't think he ran it 100%.
Well, I mean, we kind of went back and forth on maybes, couldas, wouldas, couldas, shouldas, and things of that nature. And, in retrospect, we're never going to go back. But, but we were talking about that very same issue as it relates to DJ Moore, that when he knows he's getting the ball,
he'll go.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get 100%. But for whatever reason, I just still say that very day, he did not think he was going to get that football, so he stopped.
He loafed every now and then. That's the problem.
Yeah, he loafed.
And the Bears saw that. And the Bears saw that on film, and they're like,
and Edmunds does it. Edmunds does it too, especially when it's time to block.
Yeah.
That he olayed in the red zone in the playoffs too. Just, it's stuff like that that just simply tells me that, you know what? Okay, we got two evils here. We're going to pick the lesser two evils. So we're going to go with the guy who makes the most money and let him go.
Yeah, and then for the production he made last year, you're not paying a guy $28 million.
Correct. But at the same time, you just said it yourself. Ben Johnson would like to go with the guy that's open, not necessarily the guy who makes the most money or the guy who feels he should be getting, 90 catches and 1,500 yards every year.
Yeah. Now,
and I'm sorry, DJ Moore did not play like he was Amon-Ra St. Brown. He just didn't do it. So I'm glad that we got the $28 million off the cap. I'm not happy that DJ Moore is gone because he is an amazing talent.
Yeah, and
I honestly think if DJ Moore was making, let's just say, $12 million a year,
they keep him.
He'd be on the team.
But he's just making too much money for the amount of production that he's doing. It's just too expensive. So,
and now he's going to Buffalo with a gunslinger, and he's virtually the best wide receiver in the room. Yeah.
So he'll get back to his 1,000 yards receiving more than likely, and
we'll see.
We'll see him next year too in Buffalo.
We'll see how defenses scheme for him.
So
I mean,
we'll see.
No one's really afraid of the other wide receivers in that room. Tight ends too. And Josh Allen is going to do something to try to, make the game about him. And we'll see. But I'm glad DJ Moore is still with a winning football team. And hopefully hopefully, prayerfully, that we get to see them in the Super Bowl.
We see them. We play them next year.
Willis, I would that game, whatever. Let's see if they make it to the Super Bowl because I think we gonna make it this year.
And look, I'll give DJ Moore was great. I think he gave us probably arguably two of our best moments as watching as a Bears fan when he caught over Keyshawn Nixon to walk it off in
Yeah,
overtime, and then even
yeah, that was a great catch.
And I did like how his post he did end off saying always also it's always F the Packers. So I do respect DJ Moore saying
I
that.
do like that too. Yes, I do. And on top of that, he did when those weeks when a Doomsday was not there,
Yeah.
he showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up. So, but the way I see it right now, we got 28 million off the books from Moore. We got 15 million off the books from Edmunds. And I think what did we get from Dalman? 16 million?
14.
14 million off the
Either
books
10 or
for
14.
Dalman. Huh?
I think 10 or 14. It's one of the
Yeah,
two.
something along that lines. So who knows if Edwards can't come back, we might be able to get some cap relief right there too. I'm looking forward to Sewell and Jackson.
Actually, no,
And
they're free agents. Noah Sewell and DeMarco Jackson are free agents.
yeah, but we can re-sign them. I mean, I can't foresee us signing them for, double digit millions.
But then unless we get Alex Anzalone.
But if we get Alex Anzalone, I still say sign them too, and then cut Edwards.
Yeah, so that kind of leads us into this speculation of what the Bears could do with free agency coming up tomorrow morning. Now, the left tackle thing. Now, if you didn't see, Taylor Decker actually wanted the Lions to release him because I think the Lions, he wanted, I guess, one more payday or something, and the Lions like, no, we're not doing that. So now he's released. Potentially, this could be an option for left tackle. I'm okay with this stopgap because
I like Trapillo. I gotta admit,
Trapillo's done. He's gonna be out.
What
for
do
the
you mean?
season. He's injured.
What? Okay. All right. Yeah. Just so as long as we don't go back. Okay, that's fine.
Because he got hurt in January. There's no chance.
That's right. He did. I didn't think he was out for the season though.
Yeah, the way that Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson talk about it, and even Dan Rochar was on a podcast too. They make it sound like he may not even be back for this upcoming season. He may be out. And if he comes back, it's going to be like tail end of the season, if anything. Why even risk it at that point?
Yeah. And you got to have somebody to play in his stead while he's gone. But I got to admit, Trapillo did wonderful for me.
Yeah, it sucks that he got hurt.
But, so if Decker is an option, great.
If he's willing to come
great,
to Chicago,
just so as long as you ain't got to bring him in at some crazy amount of money.
Yeah, if he's willing to come in because of the Ben Johnson connection and say, "Hey, I'm willing to play for you again, Ben. I don't care what it is. I'll take it." And you just offer him a nice, vet contract. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can see that, but don't think that just because, hey, Ben, I want to come play for you, but I want to be compensated.
We'll see. We'll see. Because Dan Rochar, he talked about the left tackles in the building on his podcast, and let's just say those left tackles, he wasn't. He literally quote unquote said like, they're not what I see is the vision of a left tackle.
I gotta admit, starting with Braxton Jones, no.
Well, Braxton Jones is a free agent too.
Well, that's good. Just let him be somebody else's problem. But what's current?
Who can't stay healthy every season.
Nope.
So, to be honest, maybe you do a 1-year deal for Taylor Decker. And look, at this point, shit, if he asks for $10 million, just give it to him. It's only 1 year.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
Either way it go, we're going to be drafting 1, if not 2, offensive linemen.
We'll see. Oh, and then I forgot to mention Garrett Bradbury. He did play with Joe Tooney at NC State when they were in college.
Okay.
They have familiarity.
Okay. Okay. I mean, great. But I mean, from a depth standpoint, the offensive line is
Oh yeah, they
severely
need
lacking.
depth. They need depth. Well, they still got Luke Newman, who, when he got his opportunity to replace, I think, Jonah Jackson at one point, he did. He was solid out there.
Hey, actually, I did like the way he played too. He played a
I'd
little
rather play
nasty.
him at guard than try to see if he can do it at center, but because I think
No, no, no.
he
I was
plays
about to
better.
say no. Let's go with let's find players that are consistent with the position, um, and let's not get into that moving folks around because the Bears historically has gotten into problems. Moving players from their normal position to another position just because you need someone there.
Yeah.
So get the depth. Now, hopefully, we address edge, edge or defensive tackle first with 25,
And
and
so,
then maybe with the second round picks and the third round pick, we can address the offensive line.
yeah, so if the Bears decide to address it in free agency, these are the free agent pass rushers right now at the market. Now, Khalil Mack went back to the Chargers. I think he's just going to retire a Charger.
Yeah,
He went
I
back.
would. We don't need an old guy to come up. We need a young guy with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and we need a young guy to come up in there. And
The Chargers paid this dude
Booker is
one year, 18 mil.
who?
Khalil Mack.
The Chargers paid him 18 mil. No, see, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they paid him
No.
18 mil.
Uh-uh.
I'm like,
Uh-uh.
Jesus. So
Uh-uh.
here's the
Uh-uh.
free agent pass rushers on the market. The Bears elect to go free agent. They can. I still think even if they do a free agent move for an edge rusher, or a pass rusher, I still think they're drafting somebody. But here's the dudes. Trey Hendrickson obviously is number one.
Uh-huh.
Jalen Phillips, Odafe Owe, Kwity Paye, Boy Mafa, Lavon Chawson, Kingsley Engbare, Joseph Asai, Joey Bosa, Von Miller, Cam Jordan. I'm only going to highlight maybe they get him because he has ties to Dennis Allen. Hassan Reddick, Malcolm Consey, Draymond Jones, Al-Quahim Muhammad, Kyle Van Noy, AJ Epinesa, Arden Key, Leonard Floyd, Jadavian Clowney, Arnold Epikiti, Sam Williams, Michael Clemens, Derek Barnett, and David Ojogbo.
Well, for me, after hearing all those names, the only name that really stood out for me that was Jalen Phillips. I honestly think that if we can pull that guy, then all the other ones for me are all stopgaps. I mean,
Like
they're not anyone.
I wouldn't mind signing a Cam Jordan to a 1 year deal, but he's old.
Yeah, but it's still a stopgap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stopgap. You know, Jalen Phillips is a guy that can probably give you multiple years at a high level at that position.
Question is how much money he asking for.
There you go. Which is the reason why the Bears won't go for it. Trey Hendrickson again.
I would like to have it, but he's probably asking for crazy
Yeah,
money
but
too.
his price tag is going to be over 20, close to 30. And I just don't think the Bears are willing to do that. I think the Bears want a guy that they can probably bring in, somewhere around that $6 to $9 million mark and try to get 10 sacks out the guy.
Yeah. I know Jonathan Allen, who used to be on the Vikings, he got cut by the Vikings. Maybe he's defensive tackle. He's a really good defensive
Yeah,
tackle.
maybe,
Maybe the Bears can get him for cheap if he's willing to sign.
maybe, maybe,
I would definitely give him a call and be like, hey, what's interesting coming here?
maybe. Either way it go, I still say regardless of who they sign, they still should draft the
Oh yeah,
position.
they should draft.
Draft
And
the
then we don't
position,
know, we don't know what
especially
the heck,
25,
yeah. And then
especially 25.
And then I think the last bit of rumor news is what Jeremy Fowler put out. So, okay, it looks like a priority for the Bears is re-signing Kevin Byard. I think we said that.
Yeah,
Should be a priority. They should bring him back. Give him a solid two
that's not a
year.
shock for me.
Yeah, give him a solid 2 year, maybe 13, $million deal at the slightest if he's willing to come back. Um,
Yeah,
we figured that Jaquan Brisker more than likely would not come back based on the type of money he may be asking for. If he asks for another cheap contract, and his representation is like, hey, we'll come back to the Bears on a cheap deal, then yeah, you bring
Yeah.
him back too. I'm okay with that.
And keep in mind, the Bears are in a really great position to make sure that they fill all of these spots um, at the cap money, at the cap, the cap hit that they want, because a lot of teams are going to be looking at, the Bears, because the Bears are going to be successful. So if Brisker is looking for a payday, which there's nothing wrong with that, given that football is a collision sport, get every dollar you can, then I'm pretty sure the Bears are going to give him an opportunity to go ahead and see what the market offers. But if the Bears are going to sign him, I'm also pretty sure that they're going to want to sign him for the amount of money that they want.
Yeah, they're gonna probably sign him to a prove it deal to be like, all right, stay healthy for a second straight year.
Yeah, at this amount of money, especially if the amount of money you're trying to get is not offered by anybody anywhere else. So the Bears are in a really good position to be able to fill their needs with the players that they want at the price they determine. So we'll see where it goes. And I'm confident that, we're going to put the type of team on the field to be able to, at least make a long playoff run.
Yeah, yeah.
Provided they get an edge with number 25, man. Come on, man.
Well, they need
You got
either
to
an
put
edge or a
somebody, you got to
defensive
have
tackle.
somebody opposite Sweat. You got to have somebody opposite Sweat, because eventually he going to get old too.
And then obviously the last move that Jimmy Fowler mentioned the Bears potentially could make is Alex Anzalone to replace Tremaine Edmunds. Um, look, he's 31. I don't like the fact that he's a little older. I would have rather go.
Yeah.
I would rather get a younger linebacker. Heck, maybe draft a linebacker. Look, Alex Anzalone, he's a good player. He's
Yeah.
always a guy that's in coverage. And you don't think he could cover somebody, but he can cover somebody.
Yeah.
Um, Now I know what I've seen on Bears Twitter so far, people are like, I don't know if I would like that. Mostly because people feel like he's a dirty player. I do think Alex Anzalone is a dirty player. Look, if the move
I'll
makes
say
the Lions
this.
weaker, I'm all for it. But
I'll say this. You can say whatever you want about Alex Anzalone being a dirty player, whatever, whatever, whatever. I say this. Would you rather play against him or with him?
I'd rather play with him. I would not,
I, I mean,
I'll take
because
it, but
you
I
can
would
say
rather them
you
go
can say
younger at
whatever you
linebacker.
want. Now that he's not on the team,
Yeah.
he's not on the team. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people that say, "Oh, he's a dirty player. He doesn't do it." However, once he's signed, oh man, cool. This is a good sign. And come on,
Yeah.
it's
Look,
different once
I
he
would still
signs,
rather
seal, and deliver.
go younger linebacker. I still think they potentially could draft a linebacker in this upcoming draft. We'll see.
Yeah, but at the same time, I say, honestly, with the way the linebackers are in flux, no Edmunds right now, no Edwards, no Jackson, no Sewell. What you gonna do? You got to get somebody. You got to get somebody.
We'll see.
You
See.
could sign Jackson and Sewell back, bring in Anzalone, bring on Edwards, see what he can do on that ankle. I don't know. Do we expect Edwards to be back for game one? Training camp?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, I gotta admit,
All I just hope for is Ryan Poles understands we need to address the trenches defensively because if he's going
well,
to
I'm
try out
pretty
the
sure he
exact same
does.
defensive line, then I'm sorry.
I'm
You can
pretty
get away
sure he
with it one
does.
year, but you can't get away with it 2 years.
I'm pretty sure he does. And I'm hoping that he addresses that need with number 25.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't care. The first overall pick in the draft needs to be a defensive tackle or an edge rusher. One of the two.
I agree. I agree totally.
If you
I
don't,
agree
then I'm gonna be
totally.
scratching my head wondering what we're doing. Right?
Correct.
I'm gonna be scratching my
We're
head
going to be
about
wondering what your draft board is
yeah.
and why you don't have edge number one. You know,
Yeah, and then he'll just come into the media and give some BS reasoning as to blah 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 blah.
that's
Which
correct.
for
Yeah.
me will be, oh, we have to go with what we got because we're paying Grady and we're paying Dial a bunch of money, and we don't want to upset their feelings because they're getting paid a bunch
Well,
of
he's
money.
not going to say that, but
Of
he'll say
course,
something to
I
a
know.
point whereas we have Jackson and Odangbo, so we feel that we
Well,
have
he
the
already
right
came out
players.
and said that he already came out, I guess, on a radio show and said Odangbo is more motivated to come back
Correct.
and
He'll
play,
say things just like that,
and I'm like, oh, okay.
as opposed to hurting their feelings in the media. So he's not going to do that. He's going to lift them up in the media,
Yeah.
especially if he goes offensive line with number 25. I, for me, man, you got to go edge or defensive tackle. I mean,
I prefer
say
going
again.
defense, but if they went offensive line at 25, I would not be mad. Now the question is, what
I mean,
are you doing
now
left tackle or are you doing center?
see, it depends. Yes, maybe, but let's just. I mean, and you know how it is. You'll see that draft board. You'll see that draft board, and you'll see all these edge, and you'll see all these different defensive tackles. Let's just say they're not coming off the board. You're going to be encouraged to wait until 57 because a lot of these guys are still available at 25. So you're going to go with that offensive lineman. And then right after that offensive lineman, all these guys are going to start coming off the board. And then they're not going to be available at 57. It depends on who your best player is. And I honestly think the need for edge or defensive tackle is greater than the need for the center or left tackle positions. If we're
If
talking need,
they
the
don't
need
go
is
edge,
greater.
if they don't go edge at all and not address it, that tells me all I need to know. They have a love affair for Dio Odangbo.
Oh, I don't know why. He bull rushed all the damn time.
I don't, but according to Ryan Poles, he's motivated. If Dio Odangbo's motivated, I need him to get me 7 or 8 sacks next year.
And the hell with that. We got to go double digits.
Actually, yeah,
That's
you're
the
right. 10
only for
sacks,
me
10
double
sacks.
digits at that price tag. You got to bring home at least 10 sacks.
So we'll see. We'll see. But
You got to
anyways,
bring home at
that's
least 10 sacks because if he brings 10 sacks, just think what Montez Sweat gonna bring.
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Ryan Poles just believes that Montez Sweat is an elite pass rusher, but I don't think he's elite. He's very good, but he's
Oh,
not
I'm not
elite.
saying he's elite either. All I'm saying is that the dude needs help.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm thinking in Ryan Poles' case. Ryan Poles may think Montez Sweat is elite. That's why I'm paying him the amount of money I'm paying him. So
That's
that's why
true.
we
And
won't
then on
want to
top of
move
that,
him.
you still got Austin Booker on the other side. He may be thinking exactly what you're thinking. Hey, I got Booker, I got Odangbo, who
That's
says that
that's what I'm thinking.
he's
That's
highly motivated. So we that's why we did not select edge. Um, but that doesn't excuse defensive tackle.
yeah, that doesn't
I'll
excuse
say you got to go
tackle.
eat. And for me at 25, you got to go either.
Like I said, hopefully Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson come in this dude's ear and tell freaking Ryan Poles, we need help
Yeah,
on the defensive line, please. Give me help to make the
yeah,
look better. But we know Ryan
yeah.
Poles, when he's stuck in his ways, he's stuck in
Yep,
his ways. And I just
that's
don't like
correct.
the fact that seemingly enough, already starting off into this offseason with a few solid moves, he looks like he's reverting back to the Ryan Poles that we first got. Not the one from last offseason that actually made the effort to try to improve this team.
Yeah,
We're looking like we're getting the Ryan Poles of bargain bin Ryan Poles that I'm going to do what I want to do. We're going to draft guys that are like me, that need an opportunity. We're not going to go out there and go get a proven commodity out there. So,
we
hey,
will
Poles,
see.
hey, I don't care if it's risk. Do it. Pull the trigger for a Jalen Carter because I don't care. He instantly would be the best defensive player on your offensive line right now.
I could agree with that.
Right now.
I could agree with
Go
that.
out there and go pay for Jalen Phillips. He'd arguably be right there, right with Montez Sweat as another pass rusher you could go. But are you going to do it? No, you're not.
No, I don't believe they will either. What I do believe is that for the price tag, I mean, you can actually bring in at 25 one of those really good edge rushers.
Look, we'll see. So free agency's tomorrow. We'll see how they attack free agency. The way they attack free agency will give us a good gauge on what they're going to more than likely do in the draft.
Yeah.
If they address the safety, if they address any linebacker or I guess skill positions and maybe one or two defensive line moves, that tells me they're going to be drafting heavy defensive line more than likely in the draft.
And who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe
the team still needs wide receiver too to replace DJ Moore's boy because
that's true.
Is a free agent. So you may need two more so maybe they maybe they bring back Zacchaeus on a cheap deal. Maybe they bring back another receiver, Khalif Raymond from the Lions out there. Ben Johnson likes him.
That's true.
Maybe they get him a nice deal. We'll see.
That's true.
We'll see. But I will say this. Overall, I'm like middle of the pack. I'm like at a C+ level. I'm not really liking from what I'm hearing from what Ryan Poles is saying, and I'm not really liking some of the moves that he's intending on potentially making. I'm not convinced. And until I see some moves, and I know every year we can't have these splashy moves. This is what got us in trouble with Ryan Pace. He made all these splashy moves, which affected our cap space like crazy. But for me, I wish there was just a fine line of wanting to do the splashy move, but at the same time understanding, hey, we got to focus on that. And I feel like Ryan Poles is too much of we got to get things at our own pace, at our own money, and things like that. It's okay to be a little bit splashy here and there. But I'm trying to really be convinced. What is Poles going to do to make me actually like him? Last year, I held it. I said, okay, he made some great moves last year, and we gave him props for that. But now this year, it's like I'm just getting that vibe. He's going back to the old Ryan Poles again, and I don't want to see that. Strike while the iron's hot. You got your quarterback on a rookie deal. You got most of your players on a rookie deal. I know we're going to have to pay Darnell Wright probably next year. We're more than likely going to have to play Caleb Williams next year, so then he don't get expensive. We're going to have to play based on how Rome does. We're going to have to pay him. Maybe that's the vision. Maybe the vision is we do this. We're still a successful team because we're building to the draft and we're getting quality veterans and our quarterback's taking the next step. Maybe that's the plan. Now, you can't reveal that to the public because that's just giving away your entire plan. But at the end of the day, you got to take advantage of this. This is your opportunity. But maybe it's also too bad.
And on top of that, you got 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years before you have to sign Caleb.
Yeah. And who's to say maybe you pay him after
and
year 3?
And who's to say Caleb is not going to want,
he's
40 plus million a year.
He's going to get it. If he has a great year, if he has a great year and he's a 4,000-yard passer, he's going to be wanting that. And you're going to have to give it to him because you're not letting that guy walk out the building. Let him walk out the building. Bear fans will castrate him. Will castrate Ryan Poles. You cannot let him walk out the building.
I agree totally.
And that's why you pay him sooner.
I think the key here,
Drake May gets paid, before Jaden Daniels gets paid, you pay him first. So then guess what?
I think the key here is making sure that, guys like a Dunze don't get signed for the amount of money that, let's just say, DJ Moore just got. Wide receivers, tight ends, things of that nature. They got to lock Caleb Williams up before they decide to do anything else with all these other kids.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think that was the issue that hit the Kansas City Chiefs. They signed Mahomes to the contract he got, and then found themselves in a position whereas they couldn't re-sign Hill, they couldn't re-sign a lot of players. They couldn't sign that offense to re-sign that offensive line, and they wound up that offensive line got obliterated against Tampa. So I just don't think that when it's all said and done, I know we got about 2 minutes left, that when it's all said and done, you don't want to be able to be put in that same scenario. And I think right now, I think Poles seems like that's what he's doing. I'm gonna see if I can find as many cats I possibly can to stopgap until it's time to sign Caleb.
See, we'll see. Look, all we can do is watch, see what the Bears do, and the moves that they make.
Yep.
So we'll see how the Bears do in free agency. Free agency does start tomorrow. We'll see if the Bears are day one moves, make day one moves. You know, again, I'll be on the channel talking about
Do you
every.
honestly think the Bears are gonna be day one moves?
I don't know. Maybe,
No,
maybe,
no.
maybe.
They're gonna wait good and ready to
Well,
guys.
unless they're re-signings, more than likely.
Well, the high price guys, they're gonna make sure the high price guys are gone before they can decide on which ones they're going. They're gonna go for that second tier group.
But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. If there's any Bears news that drops, I'll definitely make a video as fast as I can to talk about it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and then maybe leading up to the draft, we'll have another big video like this, just talking about the free agency moves that the Bears made and things like that, and then our thoughts heading to the draft. So, but anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Catch you guys next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.